Before we move to our next calendar item, our next petition, I need to call to your attention something that we missed, and I apologize for that, but in our last piece of legislation, we voted for 26 persons in the body, but said that the commission would have 25. So if you follow me on this, we indicated there would be, we added a youth that took the number up to 26, but the legislation only had for 25. So I'm going to try and propose something and to see if the body will come along with this. In the legislation, it also talked about 11 additional members. And I want to see if there's anybody that's opposed to making that 10 additional members. So the legislation said 11 additional members. That puts us up to 26. If we can agree to 10, we'll be able to move forward. Is there anybody that objects? Yes, I see a card that objects. So we now need to go back and fix that legislation. And I need somebody to either move that it goes to 26 or from 11 to 10. So I'm looking for a card that will help us with that. I see a white card right here in the middle. If you would go to microphone number 6, state your name, conference, and purpose, that'll be helpful.
Bill Shillity, New York, clergy. I would move that we reduce the number from 11 to 10 for a total of 25.
All right, thank you very much. Is there a second? All right, that's been properly moved and seconded. We'll vote on this with the hand machines. I invite you to pick up your machines. We're going to vote. We're going to use the hand machines. We're voting. That's reducing the additional number or additional members from 11 to 10. If you agree, press 1 for yes. If you disagree or oppose, press 2 for no. You may vote now.
Sorry, I heard you say and. I didn't hear the machine.
This is that. 10 seconds. The voting has ended. If the technicians would bring up the vote. That passes overwhelmingly. Thank you very much for helping us with that. We're now able to move forward, and we're going to turn back to Guy Ames from conferences for the next petition item.
Thank you, Bishop Scholl. Guy Ames again from the Oklahoma Conference. Have here with me our elected leadership from the conferences committee, and I'm just proud to have with me on our platform our Vice Chair, Robert Kalembo from the Zambia Provisional Conference. He is the assistant to the bishop. Gloria Holt from the North Alabama Conference, Byrd Bonner from the Southwest Texas Conference, and also the director of our United Methodist Foundation, and Mele Maka, who is a layperson from the California Pacific Conference. We just had excellent leadership, and Bishop, such a wonderful committee. I just need to take a moment of personal privilege just to say the working relationships were really exceptional. We had almost 50% of our committee were Central Conference members, and because of that, you need to know that we just, in experiencing such a rich and thoughtful diversity of our global church, a lot of our legislation comes to you because of the global implications, and we have some strong thoughts about that. I do want you to turn to your DCA to page 2108. That is Saturday's version of the DCA. And we're looking for petition 20,631. It is in the left-hand column. The petition that came to us.
Yes, I think we're page 2108, petition item number 203. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
20631.
I'm sorry.
Calendar item 203, I'm sorry. Calendar item 203. This is coming to you because of the global implications, also, I understand possibly some financial implications as well, especially the financial implications, I'm sorry. The petition we have amended to read as you see there. The Commission, in cooperation with our publishing house, shall make arrangements for the publication of the advance edition of the Daily Christian Advocate, that's our edition, and quadrennial reports of the connectional table and general agencies of the church in English, French, German, we strike the word and, Portuguese, and Kiswahili, for all delegates to have timely and convenient access to the most linguistically appropriate translation of these documents. This paragraph shall not apply to the daily publication of the Daily Christian Advocate at General Conference. And as you see, we voted strongly in favor of this petition as it's amended. Bishop, one of the things that we felt very strongly about is that the primary languages of significant groups that are present here for General Conference need every advantage to participate as fully in the proceedings through advance information. And we know that this creates an additional work on behalf of our publishing house and in preparation. But we're so appreciative of the fact that we've made advances this year. We would like to see that taken even further. This petition's before us, Bishop.
Thank you. The petition is now before us. I see a white card right down front. Microphone number 9, please.
Bishop Patricia Morris, Western Pennsylvania Conference, laity. I would move to refer the petition.
Okay, a referral is in order. You may make that referral. Go ahead.
I move to refer petition 20631 to the Commission on General Conference and consultation with the Standing Committee on Central Conference Matters, and that the Commission be authorized to provide to the delegates of the 2016 General Conference additional copies of the ADCA as determined necessary by the Commission. If I have a second, I'll speak to it.
Is there a second? There is a second. You may speak.
By writing this petition into the discipline, it mandates the translation, whether required or not. I would prefer that the Commission itself be given the authority to provide additional translation as determined necessary for the 2016 General Conference.
All right, that's a speech for. Is there a speech against the referral? I see all the way in the back. Yes, waving your card. Yes, if you would go to microphone number 12, or maybe 11. Yes, you can come to 11, that's fine.
Christine Schneider from Switzerland, France, North Africa. I'd like to offer an amendment that will help us save some money. If it's in order, I'll speak to it.
Okay, we're actually on the referral. I believe you want to amend the original petition that's been put before us. Is that correct?
That is correct, but it would be a shame to send it, to refer it before we make a change. That would really help us save a lot of money.
Well, the whole petition has been moved to refer, so that's what we are on now. We have a speech for. Is there a speech against referral? Yes, right over here, microphone number 1.
Jeff Jernigan, North Georgia Lay. We had an amazing committee with 47% global participants in conferences. It was a wonderful experience of what our church is worldwide. Almost 10% of our delegates speak Kiswahili. They have no chance to get prepared without the advanced DCA in their possession. It is expensive, and I will grant that, but it is the cost if we are going to live into being a global church. So I urge you, please don't refer this. I think my sister has an amendment that may help us with one of the languages, make it less costly, and this is something we need to deal with on the floor today. Thank you.
Thank you. We've had one speech for and one against. Is there a speech for? I see a green card all the way in the back. All the way in the back. Yes, that's correct. Microphone number 8. Name and conference.
My name is Irene Kraft, Germany North. I actually served on a commission of General Conference and chaired the subcommittee where we dealt with language issues. And we were discussing topics in which languages there should be translation. And I really think it's good to refer to this petition to the Commission so that they can decide on what is needed for next General Conference.
All right, thank you very much. That's a speech for referral. We have 2 speeches for, 1 against. Is there a speech against? I see a card right here, microphone number 10. Yes, thank you. Name and conference, please.
Thank you, Bishop. I'm Jared Kula, Clergy Library Annual Conference. I want to speak against referral of the amendment.
That's in order.
Looking at the global nature of our church, we are planning for the next quadrennium. Accepting this, the decision to go ahead and identify the major languages that constitute our conference, our general conference, provides us the time now to plan for the inclusion of everyone. So we already are seeing the challenges of people not having the advanced document in the language that will enable them to prepare. We felt that when we were going through the process of preparing to come to this conference. So it's only appropriate that we can take the decision now and ensure that we can prepare for the active participation of everyone who will come 2016. Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you. That's 2 speeches for and 2 speeches against referral. Are you ready to vote? I see a white card here, microphone number 6. Please state your name, conference, and purpose.
George Anding, Louisiana Conference. In the interest of having the fullest information before we take a vote of any kind on this subject matter, may we have information about the approximate cost of adding translation of both of these languages, German and Kiswahili?
All right, we'll try and find that information. Yes, do you have that information for us? Oh, yes, that'd be helpful. If you could go to microphone number 6, name and conference.
Tim Brewster, Central Texas Annual Conference. The cost of Kiswahili is $800,000, for German $300,000. That's estimated by GCFA.
All right, thank you very much. That's very helpful. We've had 2 speeches for and 2 speeches against. Are you ready to vote? This is to refer the matter. All right, we're going to vote using our keypads. If you would pick up your keypads I hear a whistle. Maybe in the back left. I do see two cards. I see an orange card all the way in the back. Let's take that card first. That would be a speech against. Yes, orange card, go to number 4, microphone number 4. I see your card, that's it. Keep going, microphone number 4. Microphone. Okay. Yes, we have you. Name and conference.
Nous sommes désolés, Président. Moïse, Sud-Ouest Katanga. Hakuna kugeuza mu français kule.
Just 1 second while we receive translation.
Moïse, Sud-Ouest Katanga. Tunakuwa na kushanga kabisa.
Can you hold?
Kama tunaanza kusema mambo juu inaangalia ma conference centrale.
Please hold 1 second while we get a translator. Do we have a translation from the booth?
My name is Mwenze. I'm coming from Southwest Katanga.
Ndio tunataka kusemea juu ya kusema inafaa hii maneno tuitazamie paka hapa kuliko kuituma fazi nyingine.
I want to ask that we talk on this subject right now instead of referring to a different committee.
That is it.
Na ile maneno ya kusema fedha haina hako juu ya kuwezi kugeuza ile vitabu si inatushangarisha sana.
And the reason that somebody just gave about the money, that it's very expensive to translate these in Kiswahili, we are just very amazed and it saddened us a lot.
Kwa sababu saa sisi kuma conference central maskofu wetu weko tajari mwaka kukontribue kama wanakata sisi wenyewe tutaleta fedha.
Because right now our bishops are ready to contribute with the money to this conference. If you don't want to help us translate this, we're gonna raise our own money and translate it in Swahili.
Kama unajirefere ku commission ya finance na administration,
if you refer to the Committee of Finance and Administration,
tulisema tutaanza kuleta $10,000 kwa mwaka.
We promised to bring $10,000 next year.
Hivi ni mafaa sana kama vitabu ile inaweza kugeuza mulugha zingine.
This way, it's very important if you can please translate these books in Kiswahili.
Itaonesha umoja wa kanisa letu ulimwengu mzima.
It's going to show unity as a global church.
Asante sana.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That is a speech against. We've had 3 speeches against, 2 speeches for. Are you ready to vote? I invite you to pick up your keypad. Yes?
Bishop, can I say one word from the committee?
I'm sorry.
That be appropriate?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you very much. So much of what has been discussed here was discussed in the subcommittee and in our legislative committee. I think had we not experienced the overwhelming numbers of Central Conference delegates in our legislative committee, it would have been easier to think more about the cost than what became very clear to most of us. And that is, as we are becoming a global church, one of the significant points of our coming together are these 2 weeks. There really isn't anything else that we do as an entire global church that symbolizes who we are across the world more than General Conference. And as I began to think about the impact of mission in our church, one of the things that came very clear to me is that we need very strongly to say to every delegate here, you have full access, even at the expense. In conversation with one Central Conference delegate from one of our very young conferences in East Africa, I was very inspired to hear him say, we hate to hear any comment about the decline of the American church because the American United Methodist Church is our mother. That's what he said to me. We believe God is going to continue to raise up the church here because we see God raising up the church where we are. This is really, in my mind, a small cost to say to all of the members back home in East Africa or Cote d'Ivoire or North Katanga, I hope someday we could even be able to expand this to Russian as that church just explodes and expands.
Please finish up.
That we're able to bring all of this together at General Conference. Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go to the vote. We'll wait for the technicians to bring up the vote on the screen. We're voting whether to refer the petition. If you support referral, press 1. If you are against referral, press 2. You may vote now.
Yeah, say it again.
10 seconds. All right, we'll wait for the results. Voting is completed. Referral does not pass. We are now on the main petition. I see a white card all the way in the back. If you would go to microphone number 8. Microphone number 8. If you would state your name, conference, and purpose.
Thank you, Bishop. I am Jørgen Torup from the Denmark Annual Conference, and I want to amend the petition.
That is in order.
Thank you. And my amendment is that the word German shall be deleted. And if I have a second, I will speak to it.
Is there a second? There is a second. You may speak to it.
Thank you. In the delegation of delegates from Europe, we have talked about this issue, and it is our understanding that Europe don't need a translation of the text, the printed text, to German, not only for the German delegation, but also the country, depending on the German language. So we, as a group, are standing behind the motion to delete the word German from the list here. Thank you.
All right, thank you. The amendment is to delete German. Is there someone who would like to speak against?
Bishop, I think we would accept that as a part of our main motion.
I'm sorry, that belongs to the House. We'll need to vote on that. Are you ready to vote? We're going to vote by keypads. If you take your keypad. We'll wait. All right, all who would approve the petition or approve the amendment deleting German, press 1. Those who are against, press 2. You may vote now. Ten seconds. The voting is over. We'll wait for the results. The amendment to delete German passes. We're now back on the main petition. I see a white card here. If you'd please come to microphone number 5. Microphone number 5, yes. Name, conference, and purpose.
Thank you, Bishop. I'm Deacon Doris Dalton, clergy, Eastern Pennsylvania. I have a question for the maker of the presenter of the petition, if that's all right.
Question is in order.
Because you talk so well about the full inclusion, I'm just wondering why that there's the extra sentence at the bottom about this petition not applying to the daily publication of the DCA. Because I have heard in legislative committees that I was in that they were complaining about not being able to have the DCA in their own language.
Yes, in taking into consideration the full cost of this, as much as we would love to recommend that, we believe this is the first step in that direction, but we know that that goes beyond the expense, and our Central Conference delegates certainly understood that as well.
Then this also would not be able to allow for full inclusion then, is that correct?
We don't get to add that portion, you're correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, are you ready to vote on the main petition? I see a white card here. If you would go to microphone number 10, yes. If you'd state your name, conference, and purpose.
Orlando Boys, Liberia Annual Conference, lay delegate. Bishop, I have a question for the Committee on Calendar, and if that question is answered, then I will move to make a motion to amend this petition. My question is, what is the official time frame for the advance daily Christian advocate to be given to each General Conference delegate, if there's an official time frame?
I thought I heard that was to the Calendar Committee. Did I not hear? Was that the question?
Do we have, we're looking that up. We'll be with you in 1 second.
Use my camera.
We believe it's 60 days, but we're going to check that to be sure.
Then if we have an official date, then I want to move. Is that official, Bishop? 60 days?
60 days is what we discussed in another session.
I see. No, we don't have the official word yet. If you could just hold 1 minute.
I believe it is 60 days, Bishop. We did bring that in another, there was another piece of legislation that did list that, I know. And that was disciplinary, I believe.
We believe it's 60 days. Why don't you try your amendment?
Then my amendment will be, Bishop, where we have time on line 8 of 203, petition 203, line 8. I will move that we amend timely to the 60 days period.
All right, there's a motion to move that to 60-day period. Is there a second? I do not hear a second. I do hear a second. It is properly before us. Would you like to speak to that?
I think that was in the original.
Yes, Bishop. It's because when we say timely, in my understanding, that could be discretional. And so I think 60 days will be adequate enough and stated clearly that the DCA or the Advanced Daily Christian Advocate gets out to these various delegates.
All right, thank you very much. Is there a speech against? Are you ready to vote? If you would pick up your hand machine, we'll go to the vote. This is to add 60 days to the petition. Wait for the technicians to bring that to the screen. If you favor the amendment and adding 60 days, please press 1 for yes, and if you oppose, press 2 for no. You may vote now. Ten seconds. All right, we'll now go to the results of the vote. The amendment passes. We now go back to the original petition as amended. There have not been any speeches for or any speeches against. Does anyone want to speak for or against? Are you ready to vote? I see a card, a white card, I believe, all the way in the back. If you would come to microphone number 8.
Lanella Smith, North Carolina Annual Conference laity. As I look at the rules, it says that the Daily Christian Advocate distributed to all delegates and to the first clergy and first lay delegates at least 90 days. And we just passed a petition that says 60 days. So I need some clarification.
My apologies.
We apologize. We thought it was 60 days. That is correct. We've just checked that. So it is 90 days.
Thank you.
But the amendment is 60 days. Yes, we'll go back here to microphone number 10.
Orlando Boys, Liberia Annual Conference. And that's the reason why I'd asked as to what is the official day.
Yes, I understand.
With that, can I do another amendment to the 60 days? Because that was the intent of my motion, Bishop.
Yes, you can amend it to 90 days. Yes, that would be in order.
With that, I move that the 60 days, earlier amended, be now 90 days.
Yes. Is there a second? I think we can handle this pretty quickly. Are you ready to vote? All who would support signify by raising your hand. All right, thank you. All those who oppose also raise your hand. It is supported. It is now 90 days. We're back on the main petition. Are you ready to vote? We're going to use our handheld devices. We will give the chair a brief moment. You've spoken to this several times, and so if you just take maybe 30 seconds.
Bishop, I think I've already said what I need to say.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to go to the vote. We'll wait till the technicians pull that up. There we are. If you support the petition, please press 1. If you oppose the petition, please press 2. And you may vote now. Ten seconds. All right, the voting is closed. We'll ask the technicians to bring up the results. It passes. Very good. We'll move to the next item.
If you will look on page 2108. Item number 204, I'm asking our subcommittee chair, the Honorable Bert Botter, to come and make the presentation.
Thank you, Honorable Guy Ames. We're on page 342 of the Advanced DCA 342, petition number 21081, calendar number 204 in the Daily Christian Advocate. This is a petition that was submitted to seek to utilize Episcopal areas for the distribution and equalization of General Conference delegates across the global church. We are talking about the Constitution here. The conference's legislative committee approved a motion to recommend to you to refer this calendar item to the Standing Committee on Central Conference Matters. We're talking about the Constitution here. We need to be very clear when we are doing so. The Constitution currently, in paragraph 33, tells us that the annual conference is the basic body in the church. Paragraph 33 also assigns to the annual conference as a primary responsibility the authority to elect delegates to the General Conference. While this petition that we recommend be referred to the Standing Committee on Central Conference Matters does provide for the election to take place in the various annual conferences, it seeks to assign an authority or power to an entity that is not specified or defined in the Constitution. There are sections of our Constitution on the General Conference, jurisdictional conferences, central conferences, the annual conference, charge conferences. There is no defining of authority or power to episcopal areas. In fact, as far as I can find, the term episcopal area is only used once in the Constitution, and it is in the paragraph sought to be amended by this petition. Because the primary responsibility relating to the election of delegates lies in the annual conference, and the annual conference is the basic body of the church, and because this petition seeks to assign an authority or power to an entity in our church that is not currently constitutionally defined, the committee sees that this petition needs much further study and consideration. There was a good bit of discussion in the subcommittee and the committee. Rather than to recommend that it not be supported, though, the committee seeks further consideration by the Standing Committee on Central Conference Matters. If I refer you in closing to page 342, the petition itself, page 342 in the Advanced DCA, in addition, since this is a proposed constitutional amendment, and we need to be very clear in doing so, there were concerns noted by the committee in the language used in the proposal. For instance, putting references in the Constitution to annual conferences over which a single bishop presides is not, and I could include some levity here that I'll resist, that over which a single bishop presides is not used otherwise in the Constitution.
All right.
Likewise, there are references to the affected conference and the word conference without designation of what kind of conference is being sought to be referred to in the petition itself. When we amend the Constitution, we've got to be very clear. The committee recommends referral to the Standing Committee on Central Conference Matters.
Thank you very much. This is a matter of referral. I want to remind the delegates, when you go to the microphone, please speak clearly and closely to the microphone so that the interpreters can hear you clearly. So just move a little closer to the microphone so that they can hear you clearly. This is a matter of referral. It is before us. Are you ready to vote? We'll vote by using the keypads. Yes, I see a card over here. White card, name, conference, and purpose.
Jeff Jernigan, Lay, North Georgia. Everything Bert said is correct, but you will see it was a very close vote on the committee, 34 to 30. So there is much sentiment for trying to create proportional representation, but the issues are very complex.
Okay.
And I would like to ask this body if they would be willing to give us another day and a half. We're having conversations with many people around this subject, and we may be able to come to a solution. So I would like to make a motion that we postpone until Wednesday afternoon discussion on this referral.
Okay, I'm sorry, that is out of order because you made a speech and then you made a motion to stop debate that was before us. So you would have to wait till somebody else speaks and then come back. I see all the way in the back, right in the middle of the back, and if you would go to microphone number 4. Yes, as you're walking. Yep.
Bishop?
Yes?
I'm Steve Wendy from the Texas Conference, clergy, also a member of the committee. I rise to move that this matter be tabled until Wednesday afternoon.
All right. There's been a motion to table. That is in order. It is not debatable. It takes a majority vote. A motion to table, I believe you said till Wednesday afternoon, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, till the plenary for Wednesday afternoon, that would table this petition. It would not come back up until Wednesday afternoon, set by the calendar committee. This is non-debatable. Are you ready to vote? I'd like you to take your keypads. This is to table the petition until Wednesday afternoon. If you would like to table this petition, please press 1 for yes. If you oppose, please press 2 for no. To table the petition, please vote now. Ten seconds. The voting is over. We'll wait for the results. All right, it is approved, and so it is tabled until Wednesday afternoon. We are now moving to orders of the day, and first I want to thank you. You've been great this afternoon, and I really appreciate the wonderful work you've done. I want to give thanks to those who have been sitting behind me and backing me up with very, very helpful suggestions and information, Bishop Janice Huey and also Bishop Jack Toole. I also want to thank the secretarial team. They just do an amazing job to help resource those who are sitting in the chair. And so I'm grateful for everybody that's worked together as a team today. We're going to go to the announcements at this time. We normally do the announcements at the end of the session. We're going to do the announcements at this time because the order of the day is a presentation by the Board of Higher Education and Ministry, and then they're going to lead us to a reception. And so we wanted that just to have continuity. So we invite the announcements to come at this time. Doesn't matter.
We've just discussed some issues of translation, and I need to announce that the GCFA report that was passed out at the lunch break was printed only in English. It is only available in English. The GCFA report that was passed out at lunchtime is only available in English. The Interjurisdictional Committee on Episcopacy will meet Tuesday from 12:30 to 2:30 in room 24 to 25. Lunch will be provided. The Interjurisdictional Committee on Episcopacy will meet Tuesday, May 1st, from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. in room 2425. Lunch will be provided. And now I have received an informal complaint regarding an ethical violation. There's material that was given to a page contained in a packet. The packet was properly addressed to be delivered to a member of this body. However, it contained material to be distributed to other people with no return address on as to who was sending it, where it was originating. That is a violation of our conference rules. The distribution of material is allowed between delegates. Pages will assist delegates in distributing material, but every item that is distributed must have both the location of the person to whom it is being sent and the location and name of the person sending the material. This is at this stage an informal complaint. I hope it does not move to a formal complaint. I hope the persons involved know what they've done and will cease and desist from doing it. Thank you.
All right. Frank Beard has an announcement.
For those of you who were unable to participate in the offering for our United Methodist missionaries through the advance on Sunday evening, there will be offering baskets stationed at the exits of the plenary tomorrow afternoon when we recess for dinner at 5:30. Please plan your day accordingly so that you might give generously, did I say generously, to this important ministry. In addition, we will be collecting a love offering on Thursday for the benefit of our pages and marshals. This offering will also be taken with baskets stationed at the door as we depart for the dinner recess on Thursday. This offering is taken in thanks for our pages and marshals' willingness to come at their own expense and to serve the needs of the General Conference. This concludes the report on the Committee on Agenda and Calendar. Thank you, Bishop.
Okay, sure.
The person who brought material to be placed in the DCA apparently did not hear my request, if at all possible, to bring it in digital format. It came printed many pages. I hope they have it on digital format and can bring it to me immediately upon adjournment. We have received the printed copy, but I need the digital copy immediately upon adjournment.
At this time, we'll turn to the Board of Higher Education and Ministry.
Good afternoon, delegates and guests. I'm pleased to stand before you representing the General Board of Higher Education and Ministry. I know you've heard this urgency, but I can think of no time in my professional life as a United Methodist as critical as now for our future. Truly, we stand at a crossroads where what we decide here at this General Conference will forge the difference between growth and decline for our denomination. I'm convinced that it will be leadership that will make the difference as we define our future as United Methodists. In particular, theological formation, ministry with students and younger people, and higher education. Please welcome three dynamic young leaders of ours: Nikki Gonzalez Moreno, Wesley theological student from the Southwest Texas Annual Conference; Taylor Johnson, a Wesley Foundation student at South Dakota State; and Isaac Broom, communicator and translator for the Cote d'Ivoire Annual Conference. They're here to help us celebrate our great leadership connection.
Bonjour. We are happy to be here to talk about the vast network of United Methodist schools, college, and university around the world. This distinctive and expansive network has 120 schools, college, and university in the United States, and that includes 13 United Methodist seminaries, 520 campus ministries, and 800 institutions around the world.
Throughout history, our network has embodied our core values of equality, justice, and access for all. It includes schools that were the first to award degrees to women and freed slaves. In fact, the Methodist Church established the Freedmen's Aid Society. We were the first to establish missional schools. We were the first to provide resources to ensure that anyone who wants to pursue a higher education has and will have an opportunity to do so. This is our legacy.
We see the fruits of this network within the church and far beyond. Many of us stand on the shoulders of accomplished alumni who were historic, transformative leaders in the world, such as Catherine Elizabeth Elizabeth Benson, the first woman to earn a college bachelor's degree. She was a part of the class of 1840 at Wesleyan College in Macon, Georgia.
Judge Horace T. Ward, the first black student to legally challenge segregation in higher education in the segregated Deep South of the United States. He was a graduate of Clark Atlanta University.
And the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the great civil rights leader, was a PhD graduate of Boston University School of Theology.
We thank those leaders as well as those making a difference today. We have many students and alumni making history in their own rights, and they are everywhere. Rodrigo Godinez was the first person to enter the ordained ministry in the Methodist Theological Seminar of Costa Rica. He graduated with honors in 1999. He currently serves as the pastor and district superintendent in Costa Rica.
Students Rolla Alcatout and Casey Magnuson of Hamline University in Minnesota are leading community service programs and ecumenical dialogue as part of President Obama's Interfaith and Community Service Campus Challenge. Adrian College students Jamie Hollingshead and Amila Zaishewicz are living out their school's longtime mission. The institution was founded in 1859 as an abolitionist college. Today, the women are focusing their efforts to fight against contemporary slavery and human trafficking.
Shannon Sedgwick Davis is a graduate and participant in McMurray University's Servant Leadership Program based in Abilene, Texas. She works across Africa with world leaders such as Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu in the area of human rights.
You know, I pray for a world where we stop sitting in apathy and ignorance, and rather that we sit in hope and determination for a better world. And in sitting in that hope and determination, I think there we can find magic, and there we can find a way to contribute ourselves to making that world a better place. And that is my great, great hope.
Newly named Brigadier General Burdett Thompson is also making a difference as the Deputy Director of Operations in the National Military Command Center in the Pentagon. He is a graduate of Ferrum College.
Nebraska Wesleyan student Angelo Stabler, member of the Houma tribe, started his own youth group for at-risk middle school students through a partnership with First United Methodist Church in Lincoln. The program is in its third years helping teens appreciate education and the culture.
Our network reaches well beyond the United States to Brazil, Japan, and across Africa. Dr. Beauty Mayanzaniza is a living testimony to the value of the United Methodist Education Connection.
I would like to appreciate the United Methodist Church, because for me as an indigenous African, I would not have managed to get all the way to get my PhD. It was the sponsorship from the United Methodist Church. That alone for me is something which I always cherish. And that's one of the things which has pushed me to say, now let me go and give my service also to the church through my being at Africa University. I want to say thank you to the United Methodist Church. I love you all.
We know that we are in a room full of transformative leaders right here in Tampa. We want to recognize some of you. Please hold your applause until the end. Please stand and remain standing if you have attended Africa University. Please stand and remain standing if you have attended a United Methodist educational institution in the Central Conferences or an institution in the Methodist tradition outside the United States. Please stand and remain standing if you have attended a United Methodist, related educational institution in the United States. Please stand and remain standing if you have participated in a United Methodist campus ministry. Please stand and remain standing if a former student of a United Methodist college, university, or seminary has had an impact on your life, such as a family member, pastor, lay leader, youth director, lawyer, teacher, or doctor. Look around this room. You can see the breadth and impact of our educational connection. Let's give them all a round of applause.
Please be seated. We hope to be like all of you one day, to stand beside you as alumni from one of our great United Methodist related institutions, leading and transforming the entire world. Now, we would like to welcome to the stage one of the youngest college presidents in the nation, Dr. Walter Kimbrough. He is the president of Philander Smith College in Little Rock, Arkansas, and president-elect of Dillard University in New Orleans. He has provided leadership at all levels of the United Methodist Church. Please help me welcome Dr. Walter Kimbrough.
Good afternoon. I am honored to be here representing Philander Smith College and the Higher Education Connection. This connection is important because it helps education leaders like myself and others in 800 institutions from 80 countries to sharpen our vision of creating principled Christian leaders and to strengthen our connection to the United Methodist Church. We have a lot to celebrate as a denomination. This year, Africa University celebrates 20 years as the first private international university in Zimbabwe. Africa University graduates are returning to their communities and establishing new churches and working to address major issues such as food security, public health, peace, and economic development. Because we believe that education is the answer to global challenges, our connection is also supporting initiatives through the Methodist Global Education Fund for Leadership Development. This fund allows us to work with partners in Africa, Asia and the Pacific, Europe, Latin America, and North America to provide leadership training. In the United States, through generous gifts to the Ethnic in Service Training Grant, congregations are able to recruit and train ethnic United Methodist persons in leadership positions and transform communities. Grants funded after school and summer programs, as well as ethnic empowerment and specific language programs for Hispanic and Korean communities. I personally see the impact of your support of higher education every day. The United Methodist Church has helped to fund 11 historically black colleges and universities, known as HBCUs, through the Black College Fund. This fund has enabled 17,000 students this year alone to seek higher education. We are proud that the United Methodist Church supports the largest number of accredited historically black colleges and universities in the United States. I can't emphasize enough how life-changing your support to this fund is. 70% of Black College Fund students receive the federal Pell Grant, meaning they come from families that earn less than $40,000 a year. This is double the national average for college students. But allow me to personalize this even further. The average family income for my students is $29,000 a year. The national average is more than $49,000. My students come from families that earn $20,000 a year less than the national average and just $7,000 a year above the poverty threshold for a family of 4. My students, like all United Methodist HBCU students, simply desire to better themselves and their families, but they need our help. Scholar Irv Redlinger, in his book about social justice through the eyes of John Wesley, writes that Wesley had no tolerance for the kind of Christianity that was egocentrically preoccupied with one's own spiritual state, and therefore blind to the needs of humans nearby. People need education. Your support, both abroad and right here, is important because your help fundamentally changes lives and changes futures for the better.
Thank you, Dr. Kimbrough. Higher education is in the United Methodist DNA. The Division of Higher Education of the General Board of Higher Education and Ministry provides the structure that holds together the largest connection of non-Roman Catholic higher education institutions in the United States. The total student enrollment in our institutions in the United States alone exceeds the enrollment in the University of California system, the largest higher education system in this country. Through this connection, we are able to reach thousands of people, thousands of young people in their most formative years. We see this lived out in United Methodist colleges and university campuses, in seminaries, and in campus ministries.
For example, Perk Campus Wesley at Mississippi Gulf Community College decided to rethink campus ministry in its sense of mission and reached out to curb alcohol-related deaths and DUIs on and around campus. The campus ministry group there decided to transform their facility, known as the Barn, into an alcohol-free club. So on Thursday nights, with Jesus-centered hospitality and student-centered fun, the Barn offers a safe haven for college students with karaoke, dancing, and fellowship. Campus and collegiate ministries, like our schools, colleges, and universities, are a primary source of clergy recruitment. Through campus ministries, we are able to raise up new generations of thoughtful, articulate Christians who care about making the world a better place as disciples of Jesus Christ. We see this commitment also in campus chaplaincy programs across the country. At Willamette University in Salem, Oregon, the chaplain's office helps facilitate a university-wide program that is dedicated to helping students engage the larger questions of meaning and purpose, to discern their calling in life and how their faith impacts their vocation.
We see this commitment on the campuses of the 13 theology schools that comprise the Association of United Methodist Theological Schools. Since the 2008 General Conference, these schools have graduated 979 women and men for ordination within the United Methodist Church. We expect that number to double by General Conference 2016. The university and college connection is the strongest mechanism we have in our denomination to build up and sustain church membership. Our ministry in higher education reaches young people, and we reach young people during those formative years when values, commitments, and vocation are solidified. Rather than disconnecting from the church during college, our students have opportunities to explore their faith instead. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jennifer Broughton, the first female chief executive of Ferrum College in Virginia. She has helped to transform that small college into a growing community
with a 78% increase in enrollment since her arrival in 2002. Please welcome Dr. Jennifer Broughton.
In a world of profound challenges and change, we need the connection between the church and our schools, colleges, and universities now more than ever. It is this connection that reminds us of the greater vision to be faithful witnesses to the gospel of Jesus Christ for the sake of the world. The General Board of Higher Education and Ministry provides the structure that supports this connection, and for that we are deeply grateful. John Wesley's vision of living out the gospel through institutions of higher education fuels the passion, the power, and the purpose of hundreds of institutions and thousands of worthy students around our world. GBHEM ensures the nurturing and strengthening of this vital witness in the world today. Together we connect campus and community and build up principled Christian leaders. Believe me, leaders of private educational institutions understand budget constraints because we live with them every day. But let me be clear, our educational connection is worthy of this investment. The church needs to make this investment for our future. As Raleigh Martinson, a Lutheran theologian, once said, the question is not, will our children have faith, but will our faith have children? Indeed, as the great preacher Ernest Campbell said, to be mature is to build schools in which you will not study. To be mature is to plant trees under which you will not sit. To be mature is to make a church from which you will not benefit. But that is precisely what we do in church-related higher education. We build for the long term. We build and mold leaders for the future whose contributions we might not see, but we believe will happen. When we are distracted by short-term solutions to financial problems, should we not instead be thinking about the long-term impact of all of our decisions today? Our founders, our forefathers, our foremothers believed the world was their parish, and they went into all corners of all frontiers under arduous circumstances and at great personal cost and sacrifice. Like them, should we not be talking about how we can do more rather than less? If you need proof of the strength and benefits of our educational system, just look at our graduates, look at yourselves. You've come from all backgrounds, they come from all backgrounds, all circumstances and all races. They've received scholarships from thousands of loyal United Methodists like yourselves. They have received the best education in the world, and they have become our pastors, our teachers, our missionaries, our doctors, and so much more. They go into the world, living out the gospel of Jesus Christ by practicing justice, mercy, love, and compassion. How can we ask for anything less? Let us continue to do everything more.
Thank you very much. And yes, we have so much more to share with you about the importance of our United Methodist Education Connection. As the President of the Board of Directors for the General Board of Higher Education and Ministry, I invite you tonight to our Higher Education Night with Fellowship. Immediately following this presentation, we will go to ballrooms B, C, and D downstairs. Please come and enjoy with us pizzas and sliders, meeting our students and the presidents as we engage in conversation. They have traveled far to be with us. Tell them about your experiences and learn about the fantastic things leaders across our United Methodist Connection are doing to transform the world. And so what we want you to do is, as we are led out by our own Africa University Choir, we are inviting all of you to join us as we go downstairs to have conversation together. Won't you do that with us this afternoon?
We say congratulations. We say congratulations. Welcome to Florida. Well done, well done. We say congratulations. We say congratulations. Welcome to Florida. Well done, well done. Bravo, 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 bravo. We say congratulations. We say congratulations. Welcome to Florida. Well done, well done. We say congratulations. We say congratulations. Welcome to Florida. Well done, well done. Revenue, 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 We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching